Welcome, everyone, to another year of vidIQ channel reviews. I'm Dan, and for the next 2 hours, for pretty much every week in 2023, we're going to be taking a look at your YouTube channels. And I'm not going to do it alone, because I did say we. It's two people today. It's myself and Jeff.
Hey.
How are you, Jeff?
Good, man. Happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year to everybody in the chat and all our fellow YouTubers and content creators.
Yes, Happy New Year to everybody. Thank you all for being here. Thanks for an awesome 2022. Let's get psyched up for 2023. The goal is to make sure that your content gets seen by people, that you get discovered, that you start to achieve some reach and get your goals met on YouTube this year. So whether you're starting today, whether you haven't started yet, whether you've been going at it for a while, let us know in chat right now if you are here live, what your goal is for 2023. We know that some of you might be early in your journeys and you're setting this really big, ambitious goal, like 1 million subscribers. What's your next goal? What's the one that you would like to get to in the coming months? Let's stick to that. If you're a viewer who's watching this after it was a live stream, let us know in the comments the same thing. What is your goal? And thank you all so much. If you were watching this after it was a live stream, we've been doing a really good job, thanks to our community manager, Victoria, putting down timestamps to all the different types of channels that we see. So do check the description below and see if your channel made it, or see what kinds of interesting channels we checked out today. Now, you notice I keep saying it's your channel. It's your channel we're going to be checking out. That's because the way this works is that you're going to submit your channels on a form. It's down below. I'm going to go ahead and give you a tutorial here that will cover this up in less than a minute.
Welcome to the vidIQ channel reviews live stream. Simply fill in the correct form in the video description and your channel will be considered for review during a live stream. Channel reviews are free, so no need to send us a super chat, and don't spam us in the live chat. We'll ignore it and you may be put in timeout. After the live stream, don't forget to download the vidIQ extension where you can get a custom channel audit, daily ideas, and an AI-powered video title generator. Link is in the description. If you submit your channel for review, expect the following. We are sharing nothing more than our knowledge, experience and passion as fellow creators. Thank you to all of our moderators who help us out on the live stream every week. You know who you are. Give us a like if you enjoy this live stream, subscribe if you love it, and share it with like-minded fellow creators. All right, let's get started.
All right. So that's it. That's how it works. Forms are down below. We're going to be checking out your channels. So we have pre-selected a few channels from the form. And the first one we went and selected was the first person who submitted on the non-gaming form. That is Psych Snail, who does shorts. Now, Jeff, we didn't have time to do an audio check before the stream went live because it's been a very hectic day for me. And there's a chance you're not going to be able to hear any of these. But with shorts, we kind of got to look into the content. We need to see what's happening. So let me know, Jeff, if you can't hear it. And if so, I'll just describe to you what's happening.
Cool.
Can you hear it? Okay. I didn't think so. So it's a robot voice. It says how to get anyone to do something. Hold on. So if you're reading the captions, the whole video is this snail eating what looks to be pizza or something. And it's a robot voice talking about, I guess, a psychological hack. And the first thing it said was that this video was removed from TikTok. So be sure to watch the whole thing through before it gets removed again. So nothing done to change whatever got it removed. Just I'm going to re-upload it and warn everybody. I'm going to change that part. The part that got it, not the part that got it taken down. The part that says, hey, like before you go, this video is like a rare oddity on the internet because it could get taken down at any point.
I mean, it's an interesting, premise to try to get people to stick around and watch. I've seen people do that, a lot of times, whether it's on TikTok or Shorts. I've seen that strategy of make sure you watch it because it's going to get taken down, and then just comes up being a big ol' nothing burger.
Right.
In the end. But hopefully, if you do use that strategy, you make it pay off.
Yeah. So it does feel like a strategy. I haven't seen anything so far in the first few seconds that would make this get taken down. The only thing I can imagine is because it's about psychological hacks. that maybe sometimes it gets pegged for like misinformation. Like maybe there's something in there that the algorithms are not appreciating, and they hit it back for community guidelines abuses. I don't know. I don't watch this content. What I will say is, just from a shorts perspective, we're going to try and help out shorts creators in a different way. Usually we talk about titles and thumbnails and things like that. But for shorts, your title and your thumbnail are the first few seconds of the video. That's really how people, the majority of people who are going to see your short are going to find it. They're not going to look at what YouTube is showing them and what the title is and select it themselves. They can, but there's only so much real estate on the home feed for that. If we go down here and we see shorts, each one of these is a gateway to start scrolling. And you can see these recommendations are pretty tailored to us right now. Like we get a lot about Mr. Beast, and when it's talking about like Marcus Brownlee, a lot of YouTube growth ones. So these are shorts I would expect to see. This is just the regular old YouTube home feed recommending me some shorts I might like. But once we click into one of these and we start scrolling through, I don't get to choose this. I don't get to choose this one. I didn't choose this one. It's just showing me stuff now. So your shorts are going to be seen in a lot of cases like that. So if I scroll to this one, it has to be something that's going to stop me to want to, watch. And I think in this case, the strategy they're using is, I know what'll stop people. I'm going to make drama happen. I'm going to say that this short is a violation of some rules, and so it's kind of like the McRib. It's not going to be around forever. Pretty interesting tactic there.
Yeah.
As for the content itself, I'm going to keep it on mute and just let it play. I want to see if the screen changes throughout this. It's just kind of captions, and it's just a snail eating, and that's it. That's like the whole short. I think it's already maybe even looped. So the tip I have for this creator, while this strategy you have for trying to keep people in your short may be working, and that one has over 1,000 views, you need other things happening in your short, in my opinion. It needs to be, popping. There's got to be something else happening other than snail eating. I mean, that's my biggest advice. I think it needs B-roll. I think it needs other stuff going on. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I agree. Something that's going to make you want to stick. Something that's going to stop you from flicking past it to the next short. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, the snail itself, I'm assuming that's what it is pretty cute looking and all that. But I don't know. Is it enough? I don't know. I think personally, if it was just me, I probably would have just scrolled past it. But that's just me. So it's got to have something. And just like Dan said here, the first 1 to 3 seconds is your thumbnail and title, and you got to nail that hook. You got to get me to want to stay. So yeah, I think that's really going to be the key here for this.
I was seeing, we'll move on in a second. I was seeing some things as I scrolled around that I can imagine being picked up by community guidelines, and I can imagine seeing some of these get banned just based on a little bit of scrolling I did. So do check up on YouTube's community guideline policies, TikTok community guideline policies, because it seems that the content you're doing does kind of play with fire a little bit based on just some of the stuff I saw while scrolling around. So you do want to be sure you're abiding by that stuff, so you're not having to put in your intros that, hey, this video got pulled, so watch it before it gets pulled again. So that was the first non-gaming channel. And as it was a shorts channel, we dug into the video content. Tomorrow, we're going to be digging into video content itself, going beyond the title and the thumbnail. Today is mostly what people see on the surface, getting the click in. Tomorrow, we're going to be getting them to stay after the click. So do be sure to join us around the same time tomorrow for that live stream. ThatNerdDylan is the first gaming channel, Jeff, that managed to submit. I've flipped the script on us. I did like all the talking in the last one. So I'm gonna actually throw you under the bus here and say, like, what are the first things you're seeing with this gaming channel?
Well, I'm not 100% sure what game we're even playing here. And maybe that's just, from my perspective, but I'm not familiar. So I'm assuming it's Destiny 2 because that's what he's put in a lot of the titles. But it just didn't smack me in the face with the thumbnails. Maybe that's just me. But I'm, that could just be my own ignorance that I'm not familiar with this game. And that could be why it's not making sense to me. Let's see here. I like the fact, well, on his latest one, they kept the title short. Not sure what they mean by it has a dim problem, but this needs to be in the game. Okay. Fashirochi farming. Okay, a farming guide. Nice. Okay.
Yeah, this one got 23,000 views.
Yeah.
This fastest whatever red border weapon farm.
Nice. It makes sense though, because it seems like that's going to be when when I hear somebody saying something like, something to do with farming in a game, it gives me that tutorial vibe. Like he's going to show you how to get something quickly, and that is valuable content for people that are playing a game who want to learn. Hey, how do I, make money quickly? How do I earn credits quickly? How do I get resources quickly? Like stuff like that. I find myself looking up that kind of content myself for my own game. Like, hey, what's the, for me, the kind of games that I play, what are the best races that are going to earn me the most money? Stuff like that. So it's always going to be super, super useful. And even, and you don't have to necessarily title them either, like how to get this, easy, the ultimate guide for farming, or the easiest, fastest farming way, whatever it might be. That sort of makes sense. The only thing is with the thumbnails, I like the way that they're using the text. A little on the wordy side, but I like the way they're using it because it's very easy to read. But the rest of it is very cluttered, man. Like you have a busy background. Like look at this easy Ikelos farm. You have like a planet background, 3 words, and then you have an arrow. Then you have 4 little pictures, and then you have something else going on. It's like
a gun or a ship or something.
Yeah, there's so much happening there that it gets borderline confusing. Although the video still performed well, but it's just so many things that are happening there that I think a bit of simplicity could go a long way here. But maybe that's just me. It's just, I don't know. I don't think it's doing himself any sort of favors, like making it this overly complex on some of these thumbnails.
Yeah, there's a lot of like videos you could point to that are pretty successful for the channel. Like even this one got 4,000 views. Equip this item now for free Dawning Spirit. It says free Dawning Spirit. So the title and thumbnail are both very simple. And I think even though it's been forever since I turned on Destiny, so I don't know what a lot of these words mean. But the audience does, and it did a pretty good job. I would say the latest video, and a lot of the videos they're making, should be ultimately, I think, doing pretty well because they are sticking to doing guides. And guides are very searchable. Guides are very helpful. I'm going to pull up a channel in a second that I've been watching because I've been playing a lot of No Man's Sky. And it's a very deep game. There's a lot of things to know. There's a lot of little like nuances about it. And following a couple different YouTubers, I'm able to have a more easygoing experience in the game, Yeah. So
I completely agree.
I'll show you what they've been doing, and we'll kind of compare and contrast. But I would say for the latest video, as an example, you did say busy background. I completely agree. It looks like they've taken some cards or something and shrunk them down. It's just like a wallpaper. And it's so hectic when it should just be like a kind of clean color with a gradient or something. So that's like one thing that's really bugging me about this thumbnail. And then dim, which I don't know, it might be a currency of some kind or something like that. That's clear. That's easy to read. But this needs to be in the game is text that I feel like makes sense if you've watched the video. And I say that because it says Destiny 2 has a dim problem. And then it already has a logo and a symbol for dim. So I'm assuming that dim is already in the game, but your thumbnail is saying otherwise. Your thumbnail is saying, no, Destiny needs this. And it may be because I don't understand what I'm looking at. Maybe it's true. Maybe dim was in Destiny 1 and it's not in Destiny 2. I don't know. I would say, though, that a better word to use instead of all those words would have just been broken with an arrow pointing at the dim symbol. One word. And it invokes an emotion. You're basically saying like, this is a problem. This is broken. And that's all you need in a thumbnail. Just that simple light bulb moment of like, this person is going to tell me something valuable about Destiny. I may not know that this is broken. I may not know that there's a problem. This person's done the research and they're going to tell me all about it. But when I see this needs to be in the game and Destiny 2 is a dim problem, it feels like I'm looking at 2 different videos in one. And it's a bit confusing.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I think the simplicity would have gone a long way there too, because something like just having broken in there would have been like, oh, what's broken? What's broken about this game that I'm playing? And that really would have enticed a click. So, and it's not too late. It's not like they can't go back and change this. I mean, the video came out 2 hours ago. So, you're still in that window of time where you can definitely make a change if you want to and see if it helps. But yeah, I mean, I like where they're headed. I like the fact that they're making evergreen content based around this game. That's a good move to make as a long play. This is something that could work for you over a long period of time. So you don't have to worry about it getting a spike of views and then dying off. It's gonna might be a little bit slower to burn, but they'll burn for a while. Yeah.
So it reminded me of a channel I'm going to pull up right now. edition, I think 7. We'll pop this video up. There's a lot of different videos on this, but I've been watching Zane's World quite a bit. So this is another video game. This is one I'm playing called No Man's Sky, and I come to this channel a lot because they do very straightforward guides. Some of them are short, some of them are longer. I watched this one recently because I was doing this expedition, which is a time-limited event, and I wanted to just get through it. I didn't care about the story or anything like that. Like, what's just the fastest way through this thing so I can finish it? And this person broke it down. They told me with timestamps and everything, every single thing I needed to do. Is this God's gifts to thumbnails? No. It's good. I would have made the text a little bit bolder. There's like all kinds of ways I can critique it, but it was clear. Survive the loop. That's like part of the story. If you are playing the expedition, you kind of know what that means. So it was very clear to me what the video was. The title was also clear, and it was a bit wordy. Survive and complete in a few hours. No Man's Sky, Leviathan redo, full step-by-step guide. It's like they really keyword stuff their title in a way that wasn't necessary. However, again, 15,000 views, and the clarity was there. The first line is survive and complete in a few hours. The thumbnail already told me everything else. I didn't even read the rest of the title when I clicked on this video. It was just everything I needed. So this is, another channel very similar to one we're looking at, whereby they're doing guides on one specific game. They're not sitting down. They're not just playing the game with their viewers. That's what live streams are for, which they're not doing. They are actually using their videos to gain a very big audience because they're constantly adding value. So, one of my strategies for 2023, if you're starting a gaming channel, would be to create a content ecosystem. By using live streams, leveraging those to create more content. You can sit down with your viewers, you can just play the game, hang out, set yourself a goal for that live stream and just kind of work towards it. Take footage from that, take fun clips, make them into shorts, which this person is doing shorts, but it doesn't look like they're very necessarily Destiny related, some of them. And then, your videos, your guides, things like that. This is your really high value content. This is the thing getting your channel discovered, getting more viewers to your live streams and your shorts. Your shorts can help grow the channel and get more viewers to your live streams and your long form videos. So continue growing this channel, continue with that content ecosystem. You've been at it for, I didn't even realize this, Jeff. I just scrolled down for the first time. 1 month. 1 month was their first upload. They're already approaching 1,000 subscribers. They already have videos that have been breakout successes for them.
Mm-hmm. So
I know we talked quite a bit about their thumbnails and how they could be better, but this is obviously somebody who's been taking notes. They understand what they're doing.
Yeah, and that's the thing, man. Don't sleep on content that's searchable. If you think that you have to go viral, you have to make browse-based content, you have to do that. No, that's another option of doing it. But if ignoring search for this type of content, that would be a mistake. That'd be a huge mistake. So you can get a lot of views externally coming from people searching on Google. You can get a lot of this stuff from people searching on YouTube. I know every time I need an answer to literally anything, I'll search it up on YouTube, and sure enough, there'll be somebody who made a video on it, whether it's changing the wipers on a Toyota, to how to fix a garden hose, to how to unclog a drain in your sink, whatever it might be, how to pass a specific level, on Metroid, whatever. You'll find those answers. And that's it's a good sign, man. When we're talking about such a short time to get to 860 subs, it's pretty good. So yeah, I'm very excited for what they're going to do. Looks like they're probably getting the watch hours for sure. Yep. And yeah, they're going to build something nice and sustainable. So you love to see it.
I'm going to say they probably already have the watch hours just from their couple top videos alone. Yeah, getting 10,000 views, 20,000 views, 6,000 views, 5,000 views. Like these are probably their watch hours right here. If I had to guess. If not, they're very, very close. And Shorts monetization is coming in February. So they're already kind of getting a jump start on Shorts. So that's going to be monetized for them once they hit monetization. And they're starting to consider live streaming. They have one scheduled for today. So that is going to be really, really cool to see where ThatNerdDylan ends up here in 2023. I would love to. I wish I could make a note. Could somebody make me a note, please? To check on this channel by the end of the year. How cool would that be? What a saga, right?
Yeah, to the first gaming channel we checked in 2023. Where is he at? At the end of this year, that'd be kind of cool just to set up a note, like a reminder, like, hey, let's check on this channel.
I'm gonna do it right now. I'm gonna bore everybody with this. Check out this channel we reviewed in January, and I'm gonna take this link and I'm going to send this to myself. I'm going to time a reminder. I'll do the rest of it later. I'm going to time a reminder. So at the end of the year, that pings me, and it tells me to check this channel.
Oh, check this out. So he says he's at 2.2K watch hours at the moment.
Okay.
Nice. Yeah, dude, just got to keep on doing what you're doing here. Staying with the formula of going after, basically you're providing value to viewers, people who are playing this game. So keep getting after it, man.
Yeah. All right. And also, I've just been told that this is one of our Discord mods. So
hey, cool.
Hey,
right on.
NerdDylan, thank you for moderating our Discord. You know what? Before we go to the next channel, since it was brought up, why don't we go ahead and tell everyone a little bit about the vidIQ Discord server while we're on the subject? So the vidIQ Discord server is full of all kinds of YouTubers just like you who are in all stages of their YouTube journey, sharing ideas. We're editing thumbnails in this Discord channel. We're sharing achievements in that Discord channel on the screen now. And everyone is there just to talk about YouTube. So vidIQ.com/Discord. It is not a place for submitting your videos and trying to get views and things like that. Those get removed. So the conversation stays focused on being on YouTube and growing as creators. So huge shout out to Victoria for helping us get that Discord server up and running to a really, really awesome standard. And thank you to NerdDylan and all of our moderators for helping out in there. All right. So let's check out the next channel, which I believe you picked, Jeff, 410 AutoSho Mobile Detailing.
Yeah, man. So basically what we have here is a businessman. So he's running his own business and he is detailing vehicles and things of that nature. So it popped up and, I was like, you know what, let's take a look because there is some stuff that they need to work on. And more than anything else, I would love for a channel like this to be able to build something sustainable because even if they're not looking for like massive YouTube growth or anything like that, the fact that this can lead to customers finding them in their local area that can drive business to his business. Even if a video only gets 10 views, if one of those people, book a full detail with them, that's money in his pocket, right? Even if you're not monetized on YouTube, you're monetized in real life. So I'm hoping that some of the stuff can definitely help. One of the things that I first noticed when I came here was it looks like a lot of the thumbnails are screen grabs from the videos themselves. So that's one of the things where I would want them to, and it's an extra step, but it's so worth it. Take a few pictures along the way. I know you're working. I know you're busy getting down on these vehicles, but stop. You have your phone. Take a quick picture, whether it's the rims, whether it's the car soaped up, whether it's whatever it might be. Just take a bunch of different pictures while you're doing whatever vehicle. And that way you can go through them and figure out which one's going to work best later on down the road. And you're not trying to pull a screen grab out of the video because that's not going to be the best quality, right? With a picture, you can frame it the way you want to frame it. You can do before and afters, however you want to do it. So I think that's going to be one good tip. Secondarily, I like what they're doing with the text in the thumbnails because they're keeping it simple. More customers, pet hair removal, ghosted by a customer, minivan detailing. The issue I have is this like blotchy white text over that really light blue. There's not enough separation in there. So I really want this text to pop off the screen. So that's the one thing that's kind of bugging me. So I think if anything, if it's going to be this white text, make it a bold white text and then maybe an actual shadow, like a dark shadow behind it to kind of lift it, to kind of separate it from that blue background. It'll make it much easier to read. And then like the picture, like this latest one, the more customers, I can tell that it's a truck in the background, but because it's kind of zoomed in, you don't actually see the whole truck. So it's just a little confusing with the choice on that one. But aside from that, I think there's some additional stuff that we could probably talk about here. But what do you think, Dan?
So yeah, I'm seeing a bunch of things that are very interesting. You definitely hit it on the head with the thumbnails for sure. I think there's a lot of opportunities for improvement there. And then like there's standout videos like this, like our biggest detail yet. What would you do? Where it's like such a missed opportunity. It must have been like a really big job. It was probably, going over the story of that. And I think what they decided to do was hide what they were detailing. And if you look carefully, it looks like maybe it was a horse trailer or something like that. Yeah. I'm just saying that because of the big doors and those like bars in the doors. If we put our cursor over it, we don't get to see it. So I think it would have been better in this case to have been more upfront with what it is you're detailing, like our biggest detail yet. And like you take a zoomed out picture of whatever it is you're detailing. And then you have like a text with an arrow that says something like, disgusting or something like that. Like just something to really get that drama going in the thumbnail,
Yeah, and you can see that on a ton of different channels. There's a ton of different channels that do this. Like, so mobile detailing channels are not anything new to this platform. And some of them are absolutely massive. And it's not even just only strictly cars. There's boats, there's airplanes, there's all kinds of stuff. So I've seen exactly what you're talking about. Where I think the guy had to do a detail on an old rock band's tour bus. And it was similar, like, this is the biggest job I've ever done, but the thumbnail was of just the bus and it was super zoomed out. So even if it's a trailer, whatever it might be, like this is what they call like disaster details. That first watch in 25 years, but you see that it's an old school bus. You know what I mean? Yeah. So even this one where you have the front end of the bus under it, you can see that it's a bus. So let's say that it's maybe what they did wasn't a bus, maybe it was a horse trailer, but whatever it might have been, I think you're right. I think there's a missed opportunity there where they don't even have to be in the thumbnail. It can just be a shot of the thing because that's what's going to attract people to want to watch. Like, oh, how did they do that? What was that process like? So like for me, I like, so this is just a personal thing. I like watching these types of channels because I love watching the transformations of vehicles that are really, really like just kind of really messed up, dirty, abandoned, whatever it is, and showing that the level of workmanship that goes into them bringing them back to life, bringing that paint back to life and all of that. So, but it's something that they have a lot of different, there's a lot of different channels for them to study to see the formula that actually works. And they can take some of that stuff and apply it to themselves, both thumbnail wise, title wise, and topic wise, because there's so many channels that have already kind of done it that you can see what works and what doesn't. And you can really focus in on your audience and what they want to see from you. So, and for me, it's just about them getting the right eyes on their content. So, and they're doing good stuff. Like I looked in their descriptions, they're using affiliate links. So, they're monetizing outside of outside of AdSense. So it's a good thing. One thing I will say though, is they just, I know it's not cheap, but they definitely need to invest in a license for that editing software.
Ah, yes.
So that right there, it's a little thing, but it'll definitely make your videos look more professional when you don't have that watermark in there. So there's different, if you have to edit on a phone, that's an option. You can still go with KineMaster if that's the one I would pay for the license. Otherwise, I would look into LumaFusion if you want to use it on your phone. That's now available for both Android and iOS devices, depending on which way you want to roll. Other free software, if you're going to edit on PC, is going to be DaVinci. That's going to be the one that you want to rock with. But that's just one little thing that I was going to say is like, if we can get a license to that, just to clear that out of the way, it'll make it look a lot better.
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to also point out, there was something I noticed down here. So this video has 17,000 views. My budget-friendly mobile detailing setup.
Yep.
I would be taking that as a very clear sign as to where you can take this channel. Now, it is a different audience. Okay, so there's like, this kind of brings up the question of two different audiences that you could focus on. You could focus on the audience that loves the satisfying work that goes into making a video like this, taking a car that's completely disgusting and turning it around into something clean and brand new looking. And or you could target this audience that wants to make their own business and they want to be car detailers themselves. I think there's merit to both these strategies. And I also think that maybe both could live on the same channel because it's still all in the realm of car detailing.
Yeah, I agree. I think if anything, it would probably be like let's say this was my channel. I would still include stuff like that. For the person who wants to be an entrepreneur, who wants to start their own business, or somebody who's already in the business but would like advice from somebody who's more seasoned, somebody who's kind of been there and done that. Those videos can live on this channel, but it would be for me mostly still the full details, the disaster details. Like that would be, so I'd be doing it, whatever the cadence would be, whether it's 2 of the detail videos for one of the business or 4 of the detail videos for one of the business videos, so I would still have them on the channel, But I would understand that those would underperform, but still they would be very valuable for the people who want to start this type of a business. So even though it's not going to get you huge views, maybe not blow up your channel, although that one did pretty well, it can still live on your channel and do quite well. The disaster details, that sort of stuff, that's where you're aiming at brows and bringing eyes to your content. And that's the kind of thing that can still bring you more business to your content. Yeah. So, or business, it can bring, business and customers to your actual business. Yeah. But there's no reason why they can't do both. There's so much room here. There's so much potential here. So, I'm excited for what they can do with this, man. So it's just like little things that they just need to tighten up on. And they can really take this to the next level.
I would also be working on no more black bars and thumbnails. It's kind of the super widescreen thing you got going on here. It's like the latest one, you didn't do it. Hopefully you found a way around that now. These black bars in your thumbnails are just taking up valuable real estate. Try to use the whole space that you have in a 16:9 window.
Yeah, I set my phone camera to capture pictures in 16:9. So when I frame it, I know exactly what the thumbnail is going to look like. So I can just click the shots and it makes it so much easier. And you can do that with your iPhone or with an Android phone. It's pretty nice.
Yeah. Super, super important. And it's really cool to see just this creator's journey. And you already have a couple things here that are pointing to some success. I think the thing that got this video more views than a lot of the other stuff you've done is the fact that you took that nice zoomed out picture detailing an 11-year-old Honda Element. And I think the fact that the car was covered in something helped too, because in the one right after it, first wash in over a year, full detail of a Camaro, that one should have done as well, if not better. I mean, it's a classic car. Like what went wrong? Well, you kind of showed the satisfying part in the thumbnail, in my opinion. I mean, the car looks great.
I'd want to see it before.
Right. During or before is the way to go. So get it looking like trash or get it covered in suds and then take the thumbnail. That's the thumbnail picture.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Don't give me the payoff in the thumbnail. I've made that mistake before. So it's one of those things where you got to make sure that you leave an element of curiosity if possible.
Suds, full car. Suds, full car. This one got 1,000 views. Suds, top of car, 300 views.
Yeah, that one just didn't work, and that's a definite screen grab. There's no way that's not
right. So I would be looking at all of those details, pun intended, I guess, and trying to get yourself past this hurdle that you're at right now, where you're making these what look to be awesome videos, but only some of them are reaching people. And I think your titles and your thumbnails are going to be your biggest key to that success, especially the thumbnails in this case.
Yeah, that's the packaging for your product, man. So hopefully they'll watch this replay and they get some value out of this. But yeah, the packaging is everything right here because the content itself is going to provide value. So it's just about getting people in the door.
Yep. And for those of you non-car detailing channels, all we did here was just look at this channel on the surface to determine the next steps. And just by looking at the most popular videos, do this on your own channels. Look at the most popular videos and see what videos have stood out over the past year or so. And like, it's very clear to us why some of these videos took off. Suds, full car, over 1,000 views. This is for people who want to start a business. This one, very common problem. Dealerships love to put their stupid name on the stupid car. Ugh. Rip that stuff off. How do I do it without hurting the paint on the car? Well, I got you covered. So videos like this make a lot of sense to me too.
Yeah, I was very specific. So fun fact, I bought a car a couple of days ago.
Oh, congrats.
And when I was there, I was like, you guys better not put any stickers on this vehicle. Don't make me have to go and remove something. And they're like, okay, we got you. Don't you freaking dare.
Yeah, I thought they were already on there. I didn't realize you could ask them just not to do that.
Most of the time, by the time you get there, they'll have them already on.
Yeah, they've already
but the vehicle that I got had literally just been delivered to the dealership. Okay. So they hadn't even processed it yet. So yeah.
Keep your trash off my car.
Oh, dude, I'm not giving you free advertising.
It's great. So yeah, really good clues there for success. I picked this channel, Jeff, because I was fascinated. I was literally fascinated at the sheer amount of shorts this channel has made that have not gotten viewed.
Whoa. Dice Pineapple, eh? I like the name.
Yes. So I wanted to talk about this channel because this to me is the YouTube equivalent of bashing your head against the wall and not getting anywhere, just spinning your wheels. And in recent videos, it looks like they finally got away from this. You don't need sound. If I play the latest one, it's literally just this. The dice roll down the little staircase, and eventually it loops. Eventually, if we watch long enough, you'll see that orange dice come back. But this is it. So basically, the channel just rolls dice. And I'm sure in their mind, there's a reason for this. I'm sure this is, to them, helpful to a specific audience. But after doing this for so long, I was looking at the dates. It's not like all of these are uploaded in a day, too. These go back months. After doing this for so long, I have to imagine it's pretty disappointing that only a couple of them ever got any views. And so I picked this channel because I feel like it's a lesson in having an idea that doesn't work and being ready to sit down with yourself and say, okay, I thought this was a cool idea. It just isn't working. I've made X many videos and not a single one got picked up, or only one of them got picked up.
94.
Where did you see? Oh yeah, because episode 94. So they almost did 100 of these things, and only a couple of them ever really got anywhere. You'll notice like 53 for some reason got picked up and got like 5,000 views. Number 5 got 5,000 views, but then it doesn't get much better from there, and it very quickly becomes a problem of a couple hundred here and there, and they're all random too. It's like 11 got 89, 18 got 105. You know, so there was a few people interested in this content, but now they're finally starting to change it up. They're doing different things with their dice, which was going to be my suggestion for this channel in particular.
Yeah.
You obviously collect a lot of dice. There are people who like dice. It is like a thing. So what else can you do with dice? And it looks like they've resorted to putting them in cups of lemonade and things like that, which is kind of interesting. But I think you could take this a step further and find more interesting things to do with the dice. What if you put them in a Jello mold? You know, if we're just putting dice in things, right? Like what else could you do in that sense? But more importantly, think about the types of people who like this stuff. You know, you can very easily collect sets of dice. And maybe you have shorts where you show off your collection. Maybe you start adding your voice to these. Because the ones I watched, they didn't talk. Maybe they talk in some of them. I just missed them. But I think that there's some opportunities here if you have a passion, like for figurines and dice and things like that, to take them out of like a little box or something and hold them in your hands and bring them up to the camera. And then you're like talking about them. You know, a faceless video where you're just like, I found these at this store. You know, the significance is this. Like, why are you showing them, right? Like, why are they significant to you? Maybe they were expensive. Maybe they're rare. Maybe there's just a cool story behind them that you can share. But I think for YouTube Shorts, if I were to scroll through this and someone was just kind of like having dice roll down a little tower, I would just keep scrolling. There's nothing. There's even as someone who's like played games with like fancy dice and stuff, and I think they're kind of cool. They don't really. This doesn't do anything for me. You know, I want a story. I want to laugh. I want to cry. I want some kind of emotion there to be triggered when I scroll to your short.
Yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, and that's literally. I mean, here's the thing. I probably wouldn't have done 94 of these videos unless my goal was to do 100 of them as an experiment.
Right.
Although I probably wouldn't have done that either. But you know, it's one of the things I'm all for experimentation. I'm glad that that's what they're doing. And I totally agree. Trying different things is going to be the way you want to roll. I would not do any of these additionally, even if you have one pop off to like 1K or 5K, I wouldn't do another 94 versions of it. I would do maybe a few more to see if you can get them to kind of take off or if it's something that you can elaborate on. But I would avoid doing 94 of anything unless you know for sure like it's a winning formula. So yeah, but just be careful with that. That's one of the things. I like experimentation, but yeah, you just got to be careful with that.
Yeah, and it could be that they filmed all of these in an afternoon. I mean, it's not, you saw the video, it's not like a whole lot went into that. There wasn't any edits there. It was just, well, there were edits, they were chopping between. So like take a clip, roll some dice, take another clip, roll some dice. And you could probably have batched these. But after a number of them didn't perform, I would personally be moving on to my next experiment.
Yep, 100%.
Yeah. So give yourself permission to, stop when things are not going the way you want them to. Give yourself permission to just back off and say, well, I tried, didn't work out. And I think it would have been really interesting to see, with all the videos you've done, it would have been really interesting to see what other experiments you could have done with dice in all this time. So it looks like you're doing that now, and I commend you for that. That is awesome. And just keep the shorts audience in mind. Get people to stop scrolling. The title and the thumbnail, first 3 seconds of the video, if that. What can you say or do in that first few seconds as people scroll to your short to get them to stop scrolling? All right. And with that,
that's
we'll
the
move
key.
on to the next channel. I believe this is another one you picked, Jeff.
Oh yeah. So I picked this one out. Nothing like, it wasn't anything where there wasn't any specific reason aside from the fact that I think we can give them some help. Aside from that, that's pretty much it. So one of the things I noticed when I first landed here was that it seems like they're doing some thumbnail experimentation, but they're kind of doing the same thing that a lot of newer YouTubers do, where every thumbnail looks different in a sense of they could be on completely different channels. So one of the things that I normally would like them to do, or, YouTuber to focus on, is when you have a color scheme that you kind of like, go ahead and stick to it in that sense. And also when you've chosen a font that works for you, go ahead and stick to that as well. And that way you start getting some consistency, because right now, none of them really quite look alike, with the exception of these Hey Girl Hays, with the dark blue and the purple circle. There's a few of them with that same thing. But aside from those, all of these could be on completely different channels. So that's one of the things that I would want to say. Secondarily, the text, their thumbnails are very text heavy, which I would avoid. What I like here with, like, let's say the last one, right? It was about chest pain and high heart rate and stuff. So they're showing themselves like, clutching their chest. Beautiful. I think What Have I Done would have been fine. Everything else could be left out. The week 8 weight loss journey, like all of that can be said in the video. It doesn't have to be in the title, doesn't have to be in the thumbnail. That's the kind of stuff that can be in, whether it's in a playlist or you can put it in the video description and you can say it in the video, but it doesn't have to be a part of the titling of it. So just something to keep in mind. But I think a bit of simplifying on the thumbnails can go a long way. And then choosing a background or something that sort of starts kind of unifying these videos together, whether it's a style, whether it's taking them outdoors, indoors, whatever it might be, but just kind of coming up with a scheme that'll kind of work in your favor. Red, I get why they did it for that one. I totally understand. But I don't know. It always seems a little off-putting for me. So that's all.
Yeah, there's a lot of things I'm seeing that are opportunities here. I agree in the sense that this latest video is pretty strong. It's just clear what's happening in the title and thumbnail, right? Like, you're talking about a weight loss journey and you're having chest pains. I think there's some probably important messages in there to share with people. So I think this is like a good way to, I think it's a good way to kind of advertise a video with the title and thumbnail. Agree with your notes though on taking away the extra text and things like that. Also, I'm noticing when they put themselves in thumbnails, sometimes like a chunk of them is cut off. I can't get my cursor on it, but like you can see that clean line where their elbow is getting cut off the thumbnail. It's because of the way the photo was cropped. You want to maybe spend a day or so taking a bunch of different types of thumbnail poses and stuff and make sure that everything that needs to be in the thumbnail is in the thumbnail. So your elbows and things like that aren't getting cut off when you're going in and cropping those photos. That's gonna be really important because it's just making them look more professional. That's what it's all about. It's just having that really professional presence on YouTube. I also think that the problem I'm seeing with this channel in the last week or so, especially, is that you sometimes get too clever in your approach. And I'm speaking specifically to the creator here. So for example, I woke up to this Christmas aftermath coming out of the fog, what I saw and what I learned. When I see like, I woke up to this and your face like that, I kind of want the camera to spin around and show me what you're reacting to. And what I mean is, instead of I woke up to this, it should have been your reaction like it was. And then on the other side of the thumbnail, instead of the text, something, you know, that would invoke that reaction, right? Like you woke up because your kids like tore through their Christmas presents and there's wrapping paper and boxes everywhere. I want to see a pile of trash then. Or I don't know, all your food spoiled in your fridge. So I want to see like maybe an exaggerated version of your fridge looking nasty, like figure out ways to say the title in the thumbnail in that sense. So that when I'm scrolling through YouTube, I see it and I don't necessarily have to read the title to know kind of what this video is going to be about. And then I read the title for the full context. So if you get too clever, you kind of end up losing that context. It becomes a problem where I have to watch the video for the thumbnail to make sense. And it has to be the opposite. I need the thumbnail already to make sense to get me to watch the video. And it happens like here too. Breaking news, week 4 weight loss results. So it's kind of clever. You see them like in like a windbreaker, like they're pretending to be like a newscaster. Clever, funny, but you can still do that in the video. The thumbnail went too deep. It's now I have to watch the video to understand why it's a breaking news video instead of just another weight loss update video. So I think you're having a lot of fun with this stuff, but the title and the thumbnail still need to get that general audience interested in the content. And some of these experiments you're doing just they go a little too deep. It's, breaking news, like it doesn't look like a weight loss journey channel anymore.
Yeah. And if they're not doing this already, I really hope that they're coming up with these titles and thumbnails prior to even turning on their camera. Because that's going to, if you can kind of get that nailed down, the packaging of what the product is going to look like, then I think it'll definitely help you with the videos themselves actually working in that sense. So, but simplicity is usually going to be the key here for what we're doing. Do your best to keep it as a rule of thumb, less than 5 words, less than 3, even better. If you could do it with 1, perfect. But try to, because right now I'm looking at one, it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 words in the thumbnail. It's like, we're going a bit too much here. You're making me read a little too much. So, yeah. But yeah, I think simplicity can go a long way.
And then for just anyone who makes these kind of like podcast style videos, the Hey Girl Hey videos in this case, I think in each of these, you are talking about a very specific subject. But the problem is I have to kind of look very carefully to learn what that subject of that video is. Let's talk the photos that triggered me, talk about sleep paralysis, fear, and anxiety. Can you give me a little bit more in your title and thumbnail? I think calling the series Hey Girl Hey is fine. But I don't think that needs to be in the title or the thumbnail. That's information for the viewer once they get into the video. And you could leave it. I would leave it to the end too. Like, this has been Hey Girl Hey. Thanks for watching. Like, you don't want to like confuse anyone with like this thing that is a very branded series for you. Maybe it could be at the beginning as a really quick call out, but you want the hook of the video to be backing up the title and the thumbnail. And I think for the title and the thumbnail, what about sleep paralysis? What about when you want to give up? This video here. When you want to give up on what? And I know it should be obvious. And if I'm one of your regular viewers, I probably know exactly what you're talking about. But imagine this from the perspective of someone who hasn't watched you yet. So when you want to give up on your weight loss journey, and can you think of an even better title and thumbnail for that? So try and always relate to that new viewer, the people who haven't seen you yet. And, try to keep the branding out of it. Don't brand your titles and your thumbnails in this way. Try to get it so it appeals more to the general audience, and save the branding stuff for like later in the video itself, in the title, the description, or I'm sorry, the description, not the title. That'd be a better way to do it because I think it'll attract a wider audience. But those are just my suggestions.
Yeah, no, totally agree, man. It's one of the things where whether you're new, there could be, and I'm assuming there's probably a lot of newer YouTubers in the chat, even people who might just be starting their channels, today or as a New Year thing or whatever it might be. One of the biggest things you have to remember is most of the views you're going to get are going to be from people who've never seen you before. So even if you start developing an audience, right? Like let's say you start getting 70, 80, 90, 100 subs, something like that, continue making your videos for the people who have never seen you before. You can always acknowledge your subscribers. It's not a big deal. But continue making videos for people who've never seen you before. So my own personal channel, I'm at 90-something thousand subscribers now. I'm still making videos for people who've never seen me before because 80% of my views are unsubscribed. So so I cater to that. I cater to that audience. My live streams are for my hardcore subscribers. We always hang out. It's a fun time. But the videos that I make are specifically for the new viewers.
So before we move on to random selections, and for those of you just joining us, there are 2 forms down below. You can submit, just use the proper one. You can submit your channel. It might get randomly picked. We're about to start reviewing channels from those forms. Before we do, we've gotten some super chats. We just want to acknowledge really quick and say a big thank you. So Mr. Hero Brine gave us some super chat and said, you were my 3rd most subscribed to commenter on my channel. Number 1 was Mr. Beast. Number 2 was Sip Over. And number 3 is you. Well, thank you so much. Congrats on the high profile folks who are commenting on your channel. Best of luck to you. Our community manager letting everybody know this is the link for the Discord community. You'll find help on thumbnails, YouTube strategies, and creator support. So vidiq.com/Discord will get you there. Link down below. Retro Bro said, if I submitted last week, should I submit again? Great question. Yes. We clear the form every single week. So if you've been waiting and you only submitted once a few weeks ago or something like that, you got to submit again.
Also, asking in the chat doesn't get you reviewed. Super chats don't get you reviewed. Submitting in the forums and getting picked by the claw is how it's done.
Yes. Explorer Samrat, thank you for the super. Spike Wade, I plan to review manga and anime. Any tips to avoid copyright strikes? Sometimes I can't tell what works. I don't know if you have any tips, Jeff. I will say that we are not copyright scholars. We're not legal experts. We can't give you any legal advice there. But you are not the first to do this. The path has been laid out before you. I would literally ask that exact question on Google and see if someone on a subreddit has any tips, because I don't really know that space very well. I would say try and use minimal assets that are not yours. And I know you're reviewing these things, so you have to use screenshots, you have to use some moving video sometimes, but try to get your face on video or something, a VTuber, whatever it might be, so that you have something to cut away from, and try and find the balance. Because I think it's probably going to come down to how much of it you use and how transformative it is. But again, we can't really advise too deeply on this. That's just, if I was starting a channel like that, that's what I would do, just as a test to see, what's going to be okay. Ultimately, what you probably should do is maybe talk to a lawyer and look up different laws and things like that. That's the right way to do it. But check out YouTube's own guidance on that. I wish we could dive deeper.
Yeah, no, for sure. And, we're not trying to give you any sort of legal advice or anything like that. Another thing you could also try is reach out to anime and manga channels that have inspired you. You can always try emailing them. So this is something that I did a long time ago. I probably sent out around 20 emails, and 2 of these larger creators actually did respond to me and gave me some valuable insight on what I needed to do. So give it a try. Most people on YouTube are just like you. They're just regular people who had to start at 0 and are actually willing to help if they have the time. So that'd be one way you could do it. I actually did it via email. I cold emailed I think it was 15 or 20 different creators in the tech space trying to get simple answers for some questions. And 2 of them responded, and the stuff was very, very insightful.
Nice. There you go. So good luck. LMW Vids, we cannot audit or review your channel based on super chats, but we appreciate the super chat. Do be sure to submit on the forums. And then Resol VR. Jeff, if 80% of your views are from unsubscribed, how do you get those people to subscribe?
Mostly by delivering value. That's mostly where the subscribers are coming from. So I also, every now and then, I will put in a call to action, telling people, asking people to subscribe. But for the most part, it's because the content delivers value. Because when people leave me a comment and say, hey, this video answered all of my questions, you just got a new subscriber, stuff like that, that is what proves it to me, that the content itself is valuable. They searched up a product that they wanted to see, not for me specifically, but for the product they were looking for. But I gave them every single answer that they needed so that they could make an informed decision and not waste their money. Then that's where the value comes in. That's why people are subscribing to my channel, because I'm providing them a service. I'm not asking for something first. I'm giving them something for free. And the ones who choose to, they subscribe to the channel. So you can always do your calls to action. I do them every now and then, not on every single video. But yeah, value is really the key to it.
So there you go. Thank you for your supers. We will check out more of those if we have time before the end of today's live stream. Now it's time to pick your channels at random. Remember, the forms are down below. They're cleared every week. So if you haven't submitted yet, be sure to submit so that the claw can pick them out. This claw, to be specific, we will be now picking out channels. We have two forms. We have the non-gaming form with 430 responses. We have the gaming form with almost 400 responses. So very simple. All I'm going to do is put up 450, just really give it a wide berth there, and we're going to grab number 248 from the non-gaming side.
May the claw be with you all.
Best of luck to all of you. All right, so they say they're a vlog channel.
That almost sounded religious. May the claw be with you, and also with you.
I don't know how to pronounce your name, so apologies. It does look like they've been posting for about a year, but in the last few months in particular, they've been active doing vlogs around various places. Let's see, Jeff, what are you seeing? This channel, I just want to double check. Okay, not a lot of shorts either. I feel like this channel's really just getting started.
I think so too. Even though their stuff they have a video that's a year old. It feels like they're not 100% sure exactly which way they want to go. If they want a vlog, that's fine. I think sort of what we're kind of lacking here is a bit of consistency in their uploads. Not saying that they have to upload every single day or anything like that. But it seems like they're all few and far between, because we're talking a year, 11 months, 10 months, and then a huge gap. And then we have 3 months, then 2 months, and then 1 month. So maybe like they're doing like a once a month thing. I think if anything, it just depending on what they want to do and what their goals are. I think that's going to be the first step. Figure out what the goals are for this channel, and also figuring out what works in your lifestyle. Because unless the only time you vlog is when you travel somewhere, then obviously that's going to be difficult. But, you know, it just depends on what kind of vlogs you want to do, because I see people do just daily vlogs of what they're doing around their house. So it just depends on what exactly it is that you want to do. But every video that you put up is going to be another chance for you to get found, to get seen. And also it's going to make you a better creator. That's one of the reasons why you'll hear a lot of coaches say, hey, you got to start doing the thing. You got to hit record. You got to get this thing going, because every single video is going to make you better. You're going to present better. You're going to speak better on camera. You're going to edit better. You're going to do your thumbnails better. Your title's going to get better. Your research is going to get better. So I think more than anything, it's just, you kind of got to do the thing.
Mm-hmm. I think for, just the amount of videos and the views you have, it's very encouraging to see some of them over 1,000. It does make me wonder, just based on how many videos you've posted and the titles and thumbnails here. It makes me wonder if you've kind of posted these on like social, like in other places, and maybe they got picked up over there. Because like we look at the comments, we got 54 comments, 1.6K views. These aren't like numbers that are too weird. I would say that's like an appropriate amount of comments. So these might be getting picked up by YouTube. It's just kind of interesting. I haven't seen videos like this on a channel of this size get these kinds of views before. So somewhere else you're posting these might be going relatively well for you. And if these are organic views, I would continue to encourage you to post in those places for sure.
Yeah. Because they didn't do too bad. You know, they actually did surprisingly well for a channel with 6 videos.
I think today, with vlogging channels, especially ones where you haven't really made a name for yourself yet, it's really good if the videos are about a particular topic. Because right now, the way these are labeled, they're very much about you. You know, it's like, I'm going to be in Virginia, so this is my impromptu trip to Virginia. But the thumbnail shows that you did a lot of things. I see basketball, I see coffee, I see food, I see clothing. So maybe what's like the coolest thing you saw? And could that be, when you're writing out your video, when you're writing out your ideas, like could maybe you're going to Virginia for a reason. You're going there to find the best sandwich, and you heard about this place. And that to me sounds like a whole vlog right there. Now you're documenting your journey getting there. You can document any distractions along the way, like you see a clothing store with a t-shirt in the window that you just have to have. But the video itself is about a specific thing that you did. And I think that would be like a good way to approach vlogging, especially if the thing you're going to do is based off of a trend. Like maybe the sandwich place in question has one that is all of the sudden like really famous, like blowing up on social media. Maybe it was on like a late night show and you heard about it and you're like, oh my gosh. So I was watching Colbert and this, they were talking about the sandwich shop and I happen to live, not 100 miles from it. So we're going to drive over there and make it a whole thing. So there's a lot of ways I think to approach vlogging. The easiest way would just be to point the camera at yourself and make it all about you. But I think you could also do that, make it about you doing something that would be of interest to a larger audience. That was a very imagined scenario. I don't know what these vlogs are actually about. Just some ideas, maybe to get your brains going. All right. Utter silence means Jeff does not like my ideas, so we'll move on to the next gaming channel.
I'm good with
it. So we have the gaming forum now. We're going to bounce between these two forums. 73 on the gaming forum. All right. And we will see that they have... Okay, I was going to say they did not post a link, but they did. I just scrolled too far. Danter. They've got 66 subscribers. They've made a lot of videos. They've been at it for a while. Jeff, they seem to be playing a lot of different games and doing a lot of different things. They have Goodbye Internet Explorer here. So kind of a departure from gaming for a minute to say goodbye to Internet Explorer.
So they're doing the thing. They're just doing all of the things.
Yes, they're doing all the things.
So that's, yeah. I think one of the things that we're seeing here, Attack on Titan appears 4K anime, Man vs. Chaos Team Fortress, Steam sale on 2 floor. All right. So I think what we're seeing here is a lack of focus. You know what I mean? I think that's really what's hitting me here. Not saying you can't have all these interests. It's that I think you really need to focus on either which one of these is your favorite? Which one is the one that you can talk about forever? Is it talk about what the new games are coming out in gaming news? Or is it, talking about Team Fortress? Or, this is what I want you to sort of spend some time thinking about. Which one of these is my favorite thing to do? And that way you can have your channel around something that's your favorite thing to do. As opposed to, I'm just going to, because I have to get a video out, I'm just going to put this out. And it's like, nah, that's not how you should be approaching this. And then secondarily, unless, because I don't see shorts here, this last video was 7 days ago, but prior to that, 3 months, prior to that, 5 months.
Oh yeah.
So there's also a consistency issue. So I really want them to take a minute and think about what kind of channel that they want to have. Because it looks like even before this, they were doing Minecraft. So You can play all of these games. You can totally do that. But what you put on your channel is what you need to filter. And make sure that only what goes on the channel is what's going to serve your goal and your purpose of where you want this channel to go.
Yeah. And all of these games that you're playing, they all have like their own fan bases. And this is where the one game strategy kind of comes into play. Like, I said this on Monday's video. It was about how to start a gaming channel. I recommend you watch it if you have a gaming channel, you find yourself struggling, because it's not only for people who haven't started yet. And one of the strategies that I go over in that video is about, you could play one game, but really what it's about is one audience. And I like to think of the one game strategy as training wheels, right? If you were to only play Binding of Isaac, for example, you would automatically start catering your content to people interested in Binding of Isaac. And if that's all you played, the training wheels will be on. You are just, it's the easiest way to cater to one audience because you're doing one thing. And then as you learn more and more about YouTube and learn more and more about that audience, you can try and figure out other games that the Binding of Isaac audience might also enjoy watching. And you start to branch out from there. But you played Binding of Isaac once, and I don't see it as I'm scrolling down. It was Minecraft for a very long time. TF2 has its own community, its own fan base, and there's not a lot of crossover. So what we're trying to do is help you grow the channel by focusing on one audience and getting more and more and more of them to start subscribing. And I think what I would have done with Binding of Isaac is, instead of just playing the game and showing this random item from the game, Steam sale on second floor, what was the goal of playing Binding of Isaac? Were you trying to get to a certain level? Were you trying to beat a certain boss? Did you have a crazy run where you just had this really epic build? Or were you getting really bad luck because you kept finding items that were completely useless? All of those things could point the video in a different direction. And then whatever that direction is your title and your thumbnail. Like, you set a goal, you get a title and thumbnail in your head, start recording the video with that goal in mind. If things kind of change, Binding of Isaac's a very random game. If things kind of change on you, maybe you can pivot your strategy a little bit. But ultimately, that's going to be more interesting to the Binding of Isaac audience. Someone having an epic run or a really bad luck of the draw with different items, all of those things are relatable to that audience who plays that game. But I don't necessarily blame you, because it's hard to know that by only making one Binding of Isaac video and not really testing the waters and seeing like what you can get done. You have to really, this is another reason why you play one game. You want to focus on one game so you can focus all of your attention on that game in terms of learning about it and learning about the audience. And that's going to help you come up with more video ideas. But every time you introduce a new game, you kind of introduce a new series and a new bunch of homework for yourself. Now you have to learn about a new game and a new audience and new things that get their interest. And oh my gosh, like, how exhausting.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I think this is probably the best piece of advice, and the reason I want to say it, make sure I say it in this video, is because I believe that we probably have a lot of brand new creators that just started their channels for the new year. Yep. And one of the things that I wish somebody would have told me when I first started was to focus on a particular audience, right? Choose a targeted audience. Think about the viewer, right? You have to put the viewer first. It ain't about me. It's about the viewers and what they want to see. But who do I want to watch my videos, right? So focus on who that person is and really drilling that down. I wish somebody would have told me that when I first got started, so I wasn't just throwing out all these random videos and essentially treading water, not knowing which way I was going to go, being like a boat out on the ocean with no sail and no engine, just kind of, floundering around, but once I found that target, once I knew what I was aiming at, then is when things started changing. So if that's one thing that we could tell this creator, Danter, but also anybody else in the chat who's not focused, or if you're just getting started, please focus on something. Think about who that person is at the end of the day. You could even be that person. You could be making videos for yourself as the target viewer, right? Mm-hmm. So think about what that might be, and then always use that as your guide. What would this person watch this video? So if I'm making a video about, doing maintenance on my motorcycle, would a person watch, that same person, would they watch a video about me doing maintenance on a bus? Probably not, because they showed up for maintenance and videos about motorcycles, not about buses. So just want you to think about it in that sense, right? Would the same person that watch this video watch my next one? And if you can't answer that positively, then you have an issue with focus and you got to really narrow that down. So hopefully that helps at least one person who's just getting started in 2023, because I know it would have helped me greatly had somebody told me that at the beginning.
So we'll move on to the next channel. If you want your channel reviewed, be sure to fill out one of the two forms below. We are picking at random right now, and that is how these channels are getting up here. We're going to pick a non-gaming channel. The form is going absolutely bonkers. We will bump this number up to 475, and we will pick out number 379. All right. Oops. 3, 7.
You can do it, Dan.
Numbers are hard. All right. Backpack Adventures.
Hey.
Here we go. Adventures and exploring. So, 362 subscribers. Come and celebrate an Aussie Christmas with us. Tasmania trip day 2, Tasmania trip day 1. So it looks like they are going all over the country and taking their viewers along with them. Thumbnails are templated pretty much. They kind of have like we talked earlier about branding your thumbnails by having a similar font, having, just a style that people can kind of recognize. It does seem like they've adopted that already for themselves. They don't really stray away from it too much.
Yeah. I'm not a huge fan of the collage thumbnail concept because of how small thumbnails are. Because, we have 3 things. So like, okay, so let's put it like the one in the top right, which is Walkabout Creek.
Oops, sorry.
Oh, yeah, Walkabout Creek. So this thumbnail, I can see the person, they're bending down to touch something. The other two pictures, mind you, this is a 40-inch ultra wide. So this is a huge screen. I cannot tell what is happening in those other two pictures. I have no idea what's going on. No clue.
I don't either, yeah.
Yeah. So just something that I want them to think about. Not saying they have to do this, not saying they have to listen to what I'm telling them, but if I can't understand it, if I can't see what it is it doing there? If it doesn't make sense to me as a viewer instantaneously, it's a waste of space. To be completely honest, just being completely honest with you here. So that's one thing where if they're going to focus on something, get that hero shot, get that one beautiful picture, like the one that you choose as the big one, that can be the whole thumbnail. There's no reason why it can't. There's no reason why we have to have these separate things. The video is going to show this stuff anyway. So there's no reason to have these multiple things in the thumbnail. But that's just my thinking on it. Secondarily, at the top, some of these thumbnails, like look at like we have like Aussie Christmas, and then you have tiny writing under it, right? That's stuff that it just kind of is not really, especially because it's Aussie Christmas with the backpack adventures. It's like they're already on your channel, so you don't need that in the thumbnail. It's just not necessary. So stuff like that, because it's also in your title. So it's just one of those things where you can have that in the video description. You can say it in the video. It's just not needed. It's just not needed here. So tiny text, the text itself already, even the big bold text is already smaller than I personally would like to see.
Yeah.
And then you go even smaller with the second line. It's there's no point.
And sometimes the middle graphic covers some of the coolest stuff. Like you have like adorable animals and stuff, but you're covering them up with this template that you have. So I brought up the template because I knew this is what we would be talking about as soon as I saw these thumbnails. I still think you should use a template in the sense that your thumbnails should look like they came from the same channel, but I think it's time to change it up a little bit.
Yeah, and sometimes the template works, like it doesn't hide too much, like the cataract gorge here. It works fine. It in that sense it works fine because it's not covering up too much. But I think being more judicious with how we use it is going to be the key. Either that or because it's kind of like this big, broad, like brown brush stroke. Even if it was a little more transparent than that, or maybe a lighter color, something, but just something where some of that background can still kind of come through. But yeah, it's just a thought.
Yeah. So those are just some suggestions for thumbnails. I'm going to talk about titles for a second and say that the titles that you're using are very straightforward. And what I mean is they're just kind of matter of fact. It's here's the trip I'm on, here's the place that I'm at, and then here's a thing that I did. Like for this Tasmania trip, day one, chocolate museum, lunch, and beach. So my thought when I see those is, okay, they're clear. I kind of get a sense of what the video is about, I guess, but they're also just kind of like, okay. That's like the feeling I walk away from when seeing a title and thumbnail like that. Like, oh, neat. And what I want is people to feel some other emotions when they're seeing your titles and your thumbnails. That's really ultimately what you should want for your videos on YouTube. Now, maybe you're trying to make sure that they're searchable, so you're making sure you're putting the name of the place that you're in and maybe just a couple of things just to try to rank it in search. But ultimately, I would make the first words in your title the interesting bit. Like, you went to a chocolate museum. That's pretty cool. What I would have done is said something about the chocolate museum, and I would have had a picture of something that reminds people of chocolate museum, whether it's chocolate melting over your hands, a picture of the museum itself. I don't know, something interesting, unique. And I would give people a little bit of an emotion about the chocolate museum. Did you like it? Was it an unpleasant experience? What can you tell people about it that is going to be reflected in the video? Obviously, you don't want to say anything. And then, even if the video is about also getting lunch and going to the beach, those things can still be in there. But you want to make sure when people click on that chocolate museum video, that click pays off immediately. Where maybe you tease the middle of the video, like of you walking up, like, oh my gosh, today we're going to the chocolate museum. But how did we get here? And then it rewinds, and now you're back at the beach and you're thinking about getting lunch. And you can take people on the journey. You can do multiple things in one video, but I think the video should be sold. Each of your videos should be sold as one thing that happened, because that means the most simple approach for you as the creator when making the title and the thumbnail. And it's simple for the audience to understand when they're scrolling by on YouTube.
Yep, completely agree.
Good. Then it's settled. No, Backpack Adventures, thank you so much for submitting. And thank you all for submitting. The form is blowing up. The forms are linked down below. And we're approaching 500 responses on the non-gaming form. We're at 430 on the gaming form. Let's go ahead and select a gaming channel now, 395. The Claw really does love to pick the later part of the form. All right, Germrot. They have almost 1,800 subscribers. They do Let's Plays. And let's see what we have. It looks like DayZ, a game I have not seen in a very, very long time. Which leads me to my first question. Does anybody watch DayZ?
It's a good question.
It is a good question. A year ago, 3 months ago. Okay. All right. 2.1 million views. Channel with 400,000 subscribers. Complete beginner's guide. Great. Okay. That is awesome to see. So it looks like there is still an audience for one of the games you've chosen to play on your channel, which is always a good thing. Now, the problem is we are finding once again a lack of focus, because you told us this was a gaming channel. However, you a picture from Wednesday, Netflix show, and AI wrote this poem. You have knockoff NFTs, you have some other memes and things like that going on. So it's really hard to get a sense of what this channel is actually about. I see you are using a VTuber, which is cool, totally fine. Sometimes the VTuber is in the thumbnail, but because you've chosen to do that in some of these thumbnails down here from a couple months ago, it's not really, I'm not certain as to what this is about. Like, it's just kind of the VTuber sitting there in a room and there's a screen, but it's hard to see the screen because it's kind of like panned to the side. So it's not taking up a lot of the frame in the thumbnail. And the titles are very vague, like Climb to Freedom, Begging Haters for Help. Who is the channel for? So again, another conversation to be had about channel focus. When you make a video, the best thing you can do is come up with a persona, a person in your mind that you want to watch that video. And that person is your number one fan. And as your number one fan, you want to make sure you don't disappoint them. So how can you get that same person to come back to your channel for everything you do? So if you're going to do DayZ videos, you are going to cater your content to people who are enjoying DayZ and people who want to either laugh or learn about the game or whatever it might be. They're following the story that you're telling. So when you turn around and talk about an AI writing a poem, you are letting that DayZ viewer down. That is an upload that you did that they might not come back for. So in 2023, I would make it part of your strategy to pick a direction and you stick to it. And if you want to do videos where you talk about news and things like that, you could make another channel. I don't recommend making another channel. And the only reason I don't recommend making another channel is because that's a lot of work to run 2 channels. But you can certainly do that. You can make as many channels as you want. They're totally free. But each one should cater to a different audience. And they don't even necessarily need to cross-promote. You just, one channel is for one interest that you have and one type of viewer, and one channel is for another type of viewer and another interest that you have.
Yep, agreed.
That would be my approach. It does look like you're trying shorts. You're getting some different views and things like that on those. So there's some new inappropriate language monetization rules on YouTube. That this is kind of a trending topic, and you are covering that. But again, and I think that's cool. They got 1,000 views, but this kind of begs the question: who do you make videos for? Because now you're kind of jumping on this trending story that doesn't feel like it has a whole lot to do with the gaming channel that you've presented to us, which has like DayZ videos and things like that. So if you get a whole bunch of views, let's say this blows up and gets 1 million views and you get a bunch of subscribers and your next upload is about DayZ, well, the people who subscribe for this type of content aren't getting what they thought they were getting when they subscribed. So you're going to have a lot of dead subscribers, just people who won't come back.
Yep. That's the last thing you want. And that's the thing that is a foreign concept to a lot of creators, is that you don't want subs for the sake of subs. You want people who are actually going to watch your content. So that's the key. And that's one of the mindset things that we've been hopefully trying to get you guys to kind of change your minds around, is that it isn't all about subscribers. It's not all about subscriber numbers. I know people want to hit those goals, but you have to make content that's valuable, that people actually want to watch, because the views are going to be far more important than getting subscribers. So, yeah.
So that's our advice for you. Good luck. And yeah, everyone should be sitting down to do that audience persona homework, if you will. Sit down and try and figure out, who is that viewer? Who is that one person? Give them a name. You know, get a stock image of some dork with their thumb up. Here, I'll give you one right now. Here. Name this character, whatever you need. And, put that picture on your wall, and that's the viewer. That's the person you're trying to get to come back to your video every single time you post. All right. So that was the gaming form. We will bounce back to the non-gaming form. We need to update the claw yet again. I'm going to put the exact number in this time. 226. All righty. Traveling with Russel. They say they have 57,000 subscribers. But they almost have 58,000 subscribers. I think we've seen this channel in the past, Jeff. It looks very familiar.
It does. But we've looked at a few cruise channels, but I don't know if that's what they are.
Yeah. Very interesting. So
hold on. So I'm trying to... There we go. Now I got it to zoom. I was having trouble getting it to full screen so that I could see what's going on here. But it doesn't seem like they are a cruise channel. They just had a cruise ship on their banner, which immediately is a disconnect in and of itself. So it doesn't... I wouldn't have a cruise ship on my banner if I wasn't reviewing cruises. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, it's maybe that's what they were doing, and they've kind of pivoted now to some other types of places that they're going. Europe's largest ice rink is in Moscow, Russia.
Well, they said it here. I stopped working on cruise ships, so I pivoted to travel. Okay, yeah, branding is going to be a thing there, Russ.
Yeah, little bit of a rebrand then, and I think all you necessarily need is to change the banner. It's a nice banner though. I don't think this is going to hurt you necessarily. It still says travel.
I don't think so. It just threw me off, is all. Personally, It threw me off because I was like, oh, okay, we're going to be looking at some cruise ships and stuff, and then no, we're not. so yeah, that's sort of what kind of threw me a little bit. But yeah.
So the channel intro, just while we're on the subject of branding and things like that, you do have a channel introduction video. It's about a year old, and you said you pivoted from doing cruises to just general travel, which is totally cool. I don't know what's in this video, but if you speak mostly about cruises and you're thinking it might be time to update this video, one tip I have for anyone doing a channel trailer is to just take your best work and the work that is most reflective of what you're doing today and put that in this space. And the reason I suggest that is because this subscribe button right here is the #1 subscribe button you have on your entire channel. This is the one that people wear out the most, because the theory is people who are deciding whether to commit to subscribe to your channel or not might want to go to your front page and just learn a little bit more about who they're subscribing to. Is this channel consistent? Are they going to be for me? So if your channel trailer for someone who isn't subscribed is, you just kind of talking about it, that's fine. It kind of lays it out for them. But what if it was just your best work? What if it was a video you were mega proud of? What if it was a video that really blew up for you and you feel like it's a very good representation of you and your channel? That would be a good thing to put there. And neither is wrong. It's just a matter of preference, and my personal preference is to do that, especially because these need updating from time to time. And what's worse than having to record a new channel introduction video that isn't really going to rank in the algorithm and anything? It's just another upload that it kind of feels like a waste of time when you could just take, a video that got a whole bunch of views and gives people a really good idea of who you are and what you do on YouTube. Otherwise, they're doing a pretty good job with playlists. So different places they've been to kind of get their own playlist and different kind of topics and things like that. So all that is really cool. And I'm liking the thumbnails. I think overall you're doing a very, very good job with your current content strategy. This is working. I mean, you have 57,000, 58,000 subscribers, and some of your videos are getting like 32,000 views. That's really nice. That's a very good view to subscribe ratio.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Especially this one, Europe's largest ice rink in Moscow, 38,000 views 4 days ago, doing well. So yeah, half-hour video, watch time's got to be excellent on that. So yeah, overall looking pretty good.
Great thumbnail too.
Yeah.
Really solid thumbnail on that one.
You nailed it.
Look at the text, 20,000 square meters. Notice how they didn't repeat anything in the title. They just gave an interesting fact about the place. It still backs up the title. They still work together. It's about the largest ice rink. And so instead of just saying world's largest ice rink, which would be a very easy thing to do in the thumbnail text, you said, well, how large is it? I'm going to put that in the thumbnail, and that you're not really spoiling anything. I now I want to learn more. Like 20,000 square meters, it kind of just makes your eyes pop out of your head and you click on the video because you just want to be like, well, okay, how does that, where is that even? And how does it fit in with that community? Like, how does that work? So yeah, a lot of really cool stuff here. I think, Jeff, this is just a good example of a channel that I think other channels, especially other travel channels, could kind of learn from. We just looked at a travel channel a minute ago that we said the thumbnails and the titles weren't really telling us anything. And I couldn't think of an example in the moment, but now I would refer, I think it was Backpack Adventures, to this channel and see how a different travel channel does it. They're traveling to all kinds of different places, and notice how each video is about a specific thing. And each one has kind of, it's interesting. It's not just like I went to the beach and had lunch, typical supermarket after 10 months of sanctions, so you're going to places, and the fact that it says after 10 months of sanctions tells me that this video is about, it's not just going to the grocery store, it's going to the grocery store under a certain event, right? There's a reason to go there because you're demonstrating something that's beyond normal, and that makes it very, very interesting.
Yep, agreed. Yeah, definitely doing super, super well. And that's always going to be the key for a lot of other channels, is to make sure that you are paying attention to different kinds of channels, not only those in your niche, but even in different niches around travel or in sort of this type of content. Because even looking outside of your stuff to get ideas is super, super helpful. So that's one of the things where we had a great video with Jake Thomas about titling. Mm-hmm. And how looking outside of your niche can give you incredible ideas to do within your niche, just from proven title ideas. So definitely something to look into. But yeah.
Never Ending Chocolate, Russian Christmas Hypermarket Tour. Notice again how they took one thing from a 15-minute video and they focused on that for the thumbnail. Never Ending Chocolate. There's probably more things in this video. It's probably not just a video about a chocolate aisle. They just decided to they saw an impressive display of chocolate and they decided to make that the focus of the thumbnail. And that helps you so much when you're trying to come up with a good title and a good thumbnail. And you're like, gosh, I did like 10 things in this video. What am I supposed to do to pare it down to one? What was the most interesting thing? Or at least something that was just exceptional about it. So I don't have, like, we've looked at this channel before. I know, Russell, we've probably given you some advice before. It looks like things are going really well for you. I don't have any specific advice other than like some thumbnails I like and some I don't. Like some of them just feel like they're a bit busy at times. Like visiting the largest arts and crafts expo in Russia. Like this to me just looks like a crowd of people. It doesn't really scream arts and crafts expo. It probably literally is, but it just doesn't, something about it is kind of missing. So what if you went to the most interesting booth and you showed a really cool thing instead of just a crowd? So there's little opportunities here and there where I think you could improve, but ultimately you're in that part of your YouTube journey where things are going very well. You're doing a really good job. I think you will continue to grow. It's just about making little tweaks, little improvements, and just kind of trying to improve that 1% every single upload.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah. But thank you for sharing, because this was a really good example of some of the things we've been talking about all day.
Yeah, for sure. Before we move on, man, we do got a bunch of super chats. So I was going to bring them up here.
No, tell them to go away.
That's right. Get out of here.
No, we'll go back to channels in a second.
Yep. First up is LMW Vids. So thank you for the super chat, $4.99. Question: do responses get removed when you review them? Not sure what they mean.
They probably mean, do we go to the form and
clear them out? Well, everybody gets cleared out.
Everything gets cleared out every week, but we don't delete the response. Maybe we should, but in the past, when a channel's been picked for a second time, we just pick again.
Yeah.
So it really makes no material difference when you're talking about a random draw.
Exactly. And then we got 2 from Jonathan Sun, one for $1 and another one for $2. Thank you. I appreciate that. And actually, he dropped another one for $5. So thank you once again for the 3 super chats. Appreciate it.
Or thank you to whoever has your credit card.
Yeah, whoever's spamming with super chats. Foxy Grandpa, I plan on doing different content that captures different audience/community. How should I approach this? So what sounds like to me here is that they're talking about a channel pivot. This is what I'm getting. Is that what you're getting, Dan? Channel pivot?
I plan on doing different content that captures different audience/community. It sounds like a channel pivot. My first instinct when I read that the first time was, oh, maybe they want to talk about multiple things on one channel, but I think a pivot advice is probably more accurate, and then it kind of goes hand in hand with if you want to cover multiple topics anyway.
Yeah. And here's the thing with it depends on how much you've grown this audience and how different the content is that you're planning on making. If it's a complete 180, like you're a baking channel and suddenly you're going to start talking about doing oil changes on snowmobiles, then that's when you start a new channel. That's completely different, right? So, but if you're, let's say you're a baking channel and you're going to start doing some desserts or start doing some general cooking, that's close enough to where you can make that pivot, and I think you'll be okay. But if it's completely different, I would be starting a new channel completely. And just whatever that idea, this different content that captures different audience, whatever that idea is, then get straight into it. Every single video aimed at that target audience on this new channel. So if you're going to do it, that'd be the way that I would personally do it.
And think about it from the perspective of, passive income. If your current views you're getting are making you a little bit of money, if you're in the partner program, do you want to disturb that by, getting different videos on your channel recommended and having those get pushed over the ones that are making you money? That's what caused me to start a different channel. Like when I wanted to pivot, it made a lot more sense for me to start all over again. And it wasn't really starting over because I knew what I was doing. I had a plan. So you'll find if you start a new channel because of a pivot like that, it's not going to be as hard as the first time around. You kind of learn too much for it to be the same as it was the last time. But yeah, that's, and whatever you do, commit to it. That's what I always say about pivots. You're going to lose some regular viewers if you do this on the same channel. So commit to whatever it is you're doing, because for the viewers you lose, the idea is that you're going to gain some new viewers. That's the whole point.
Yeah, I totally agree. And we got Dice Pineapple coming in. We did his review or her review a little while ago. They had all the shorts doing the dice rolls. Thank you for the review. Responses are exactly how I was feeling, and I am already preparing long form videos, reviewing and recommending dice sets. Cool, nice. Man. Glad we could help.
Yeah, thank you. Nerd Agenda. Hey guys, I recently tried sharing my videos on a Facebook group, topic related, and first one received 5,000 views. Wondering, does that hurt me being 98% of the views are external on that video? So basically the question is, I posted a video on Facebook, got views from there, but didn't get views from YouTube. It's all from external. Is that bad?
No, not at all. No, if anything, YouTube. So one thing YouTube, likes when you're bringing people onto the platform. So there's no problem with that at all. So yeah, I would not have any issues with that because you're getting the right viewers. That's the key. Especially if you share them in a group where they're already interested in that topic that you're talking about and they're open to watching your video. There's no issue with that. It's not going to be an issue. So
yeah, the only thing I have an issue with is why 98% from external? Like why haven't more come from the YouTube recommendation system? And that might have to do with your title and your thumbnail. You want both. I think you should post it. If you have a group and what you're posting is relevant and it's not considered spam to them, great. Like you have a place that's safe to post videos once in a while. But we want to make sure those videos are getting views from YouTube as well. YouTube is a very powerful advertising tool in that regard, and it can bring you viewers. So I would be looking at your titles and your thumbnails to see what isn't going right so that you can start to get recommended by YouTube's algorithms, and now you're not getting 5,000 views, you're getting 10,000 views because you're getting 5,000 from Facebook and 5,000 from YouTube.
Yep, agreed.
Cool. We have a few more. Should we move on to the next channel for now, and we'll come back to those?
Sure.
Cool. Thank you for your supers, everybody. So before we move on, I tricked everybody. Ha ha ha. Before we move on, I want to show everybody this. If you have a vidIQ account, while this is in its early preview stage, you can give it a try for yourself. It's our AI coach. I will try and zoom in on it a little bit here. Think ChatGPT, but it's been trained as a YouTube coach. So you can use this for all sorts of things. And I already typed in a prompt, and we're going to see what it comes up with. I asked it to give me 5 video ideas about collecting dice. They should be catering to an audience that would use the dice for games like D&D or similar. So Dice Pineapple, I hope you're taking notes. This audience might also be in collecting dice as well, basically collecting dice themselves. So I want to see, after giving it this context, what it comes up with. I'm looking for some video ideas. I'm sitting down. I'm ready to make a dice video or 2, but I've made so many and I'm just kind of running low on ideas. Let's see. Sure thing. I have 5 video ideas for collecting dice that would cater to an audience interested in Dungeons and Dragons or similar games. 1, unboxing a dice collection. I won't read the whole description here. 2, a buyer's guide to collectible dice. 3, create your own dice collection. What does that one say? Give your viewers some inspiration by creating your own dice collection. Show how to go about building it and what pieces to look for. 4 would be crafting a one-of-a-kind dice collection. And then 5 would be a countdown to rarest dice. Show off the rarest, most valuable dice from your collection. Share with your viewers why they're so special. So there you go. Some of these would actually make great titles, not just video ideas themselves, but some of these are actually pretty serviceable titles as well. Mm-hmm. You can decide that you like one of these ideas and you can ask it to give you an outline for a video. So how about, I like this one. So I'm going to take this and say, could you outline a script for a buyer's guide to collectible dice? And it will do just that. So this is going to help take your video creation workflow into the next level. Sure thing. Here's a script outline for a buyer's guide to collectible dice. So you introduce yourself. It gives you the body, different types of dice. So it wants you to describe the variants of dice and things like that. Then important factors to consider, sources for collectible dice, and then your outro. Wrap up by summarizing the key points of your guide. Remind your viewers about the important factors to consider when buying collectible dice. This is all great. Be sure when you do this to fact check it. If it tells you about a certain dice that sounds a little bit fishy to you, just look into that, because sometimes this will get things factually wrong. But app.vidiq.com/chat. Be sure you're logged into your vidIQ account and you can play around with our new AI coach and give us some feedback. This is a new tool. It is still learning. We are still learning about it, and we are still wanting to make it the best tool it can be for you. So don't be afraid to give us your feedback.
And then just to answer the question that everybody's been asking, it is free for now. It is free to use for now. So just go ahead and take advantage of it. And also secondarily, if you do write up a script or anything like that, don't read it verbatim. Don't be lazy. Use like the idea for the script here, the script outline, stuff like that. Use that as a jumping off point. Humanize it. Put your own words into it. Use your own language into it. Don't let it just write the scripts for you. Right? Mm-hmm. So make it for you. Let it tell you kind of like, oh yeah, okay, that sounds pretty good. Make adjustments as needed. Use it as kind of like a starting point, right? What it's giving you is not the end point. And if you use it as such, it's not going to do well. So just throwing that out there.
Yeah. That's why I like asking for outlines rather than full-blown scripts. Usually the outline's enough to get me started and I can write down the rest of it. I can fill in the blanks. Sometimes all people need is an outline and they can just kind of sit in front of the camera and riff and then edit out all the boring parts.
Yeah, literally. It's just getting the outline, it's the way that you see a lot of YouTubers talking about having talking points instead of scripts. It can give you, oh yeah, talk about this, and you can just riff it out and it will sound much more natural. It'll feel much more organic, but all you're doing is letting the AI kind of say, hey, at this point you should say this, at this point you should say this. So it does help.
Yeah. So there you go. Thank you, everybody, and check it out. Give us some feedback. We are going back to the claw and we are going to pick a gaming channel. Number 57. Look at that. Someone who submitted much earlier. And we are going to see King of Battleships 1, 2, 3. They do Let's Plays. And let's take a look. So 126 subscribers. Very basic channel banner here. Doesn't really tell me much about you. Just that you have a gaming channel. I would be wanting to make this a little more specific because you are doing something specific. You are playing a very specific game about battleships. So, weekly videos of blowing up ships. I don't know. I would make it fun and really have it come back to what your channel is all about. But again, just because this is the subscribe button, this is the one that people are clicking.
That's the most generic banner I've ever seen.
You know, it's not the picture that everyone uses of like the mountain range or whatever, or the city.
That's true.
Yeah, so at least you have something there. Someone told you need a banner, so you got something there. But I would make it more specific now.
What it feels like is that was a template for a gaming video channel, but you were supposed to change that text to like say something else. Not gaming video channel. You get what I'm saying? It's like, so, but yeah, man, I mean, if you've got a couple bucks, you could always pay somebody on Fiverr to do one for you if you want to do it. But just, it's not a huge thing. I'm just throwing that out there that it looks like a template. So, but yeah,
I think while you're considering your banner, it's time to consider custom thumbnails, because it looks like all of these just about are from screen grabs of the game itself. And sometimes the pictures are really nice and clean, and other times there's all kinds of UI on the screen, and we got a little boat, but it's really zoomed out, and we got things blowing up in the distance, but we can't really tell what they are. And I like this one. This is a ship on fire, but again, UI all over the screen. By UI, I mean user interface of the game itself. So I would be working on thumbnails in 2023. That should be part of your strategy, is getting these thumbnails to a higher standard, because your competition is doing that. Your competition is working very hard on thumbnails, and if you want to stand out amongst the crowd, it's time that you do the same. And while you're learning Photoshop or Canva or whatever you decided to use, that's where you can come back and kind of take another stab at the channel banner as well.
Yeah, if you want to see something similar to this, there's a channel called Potato Quality that does World of Warships content. And if you look at their thumbnails, just to get an idea of what these look like, it's at a higher level. You know what I mean? It's at a higher level because they're doing this at a higher level. But when you watch their videos, it isn't just Let's Play. Even though it's technically Let's Play, they go into it with what we want to get out of this. They go into it with a game plan to show you what's going on. Or they do a review of a ship. Or they're talking strategy. But there's a game plan behind each of these videos. So it makes it very, very watchable for somebody who's into it. But just to give you an idea, because these are not screen grabs from inside the game. So just throwing that out there, but just to give you an idea of what you could be aiming for.
Yeah. So yeah, it's always good to look at channels that are killing it right now, ones that inspire you. And we don't want black bars in your thumbnails either. There's very valuable real estate that's being cropped out. Try and use the whole space. You did it here. This is a very obviously custom thumbnail, but continue adapting and iterating. If you don't want to do thumbnails, and you have some cool little moments in videos, that's what shorts are for. And it looks like you are doing shorts, some getting more views than others. And this one got 811. This is your best one. USS South Dakota sinks, Royal Sovereign, and something. But again, whatever happened in the short, it sat with people pretty well. It's got shared. You have a few like that where they got a few hundred views. I'd be learning from those, and I would be trying to adapt even more and really making sure that first few seconds is very clear as to what people are going to get when they scroll to your short. Yeah. So I'm glad to see you doing both videos and shorts. It looks like you're posting almost daily on long form side. It looks like you've been doing shorts. I just don't know for how long, because we don't really have an easy way to see the dates unless we actually click into it and click description. So January 2nd. So yeah, again, you're posting like crazy. And when I see that, it kind of leads me to my last bit of advice before we move on to the next channel. I think maybe one thing you could consider doing is posting a little bit less. And I only suggest that because of the work that does need to happen on the titles and the thumbnails of these videos, especially the thumbnails. When you have to go out and learn a new skill like that, you need time to do it. You need to give yourself some time to actually catch up. So for best results, I think if you were to scale your schedule back for a minute, learn how to make awesome thumbnails, come back to it, you will find that the next video you post, even though it's been a while, gets way more views because you've taken the time to learn about strategy that goes into making a good thumbnail and a good title. And you're going to post a really high quality, thumbnail, title, hopefully video as well. So yeah, those are my suggestions for you. And speaking of high quality video, just a reminder, tomorrow we're live again at 2 p.m. Eastern. We're going to be going into the videos themselves. We're doing this today, looking at the outside. we're going to look at the inside tomorrow. And we're going to try and get people not to click off your videos once they get in there. So join us for tomorrow's stream. Let's go to the next channel. And it's going to be a non-gaming channel. We're over 500 responses now on that form. So I'll do 510. 243. 243. It's Inline Outdoors. They're a fishing channel with almost 400 subscribers. All right, fishing, hunting, and much more. Wow, really strong thumbnails here. What are you seeing?
Sorry, I was trying to get it back to the full screen. Nice. No, I love the simplicity of them. Even the ones with text were still fairly simple, which is nice. So we're not overdoing it on the elements. You know, we have the person holding the fish, maybe a little bit of text. Even the one where they had a hook in their finger, it just says "ouch" with a red arrow. So yeah, I mean these are good. It feels like they've been experimenting and getting better, because as we scroll down, they start to kind of get worse, but you can see the levels of improvement. So I don't know if they've been watching or if they've just been experimenting, but I love seeing that evolution of their stuff becoming stronger and becoming clearer in the messaging. Even this one from 11 days ago, Minnesota Dark Horse. I mean, that's awesome. That's an awesome picture, and 1,300 views. So not bad, man. Especially when you think about 1,300 views on a channel with 300 subscribers. It's pretty good.
Yeah. This is really, like, you know, what's really helping with these thumbnails is the fact that you are out in like the tundra. You're just in the middle of nowhere, and you have these really clean backgrounds as a result. And this is the kind of thing I would expect from these really high level YouTube channels that go out of their way to, they'll take pictures of them outdoors, but they will edit the backgrounds so that it looks like the sky is really clear and the horizon is kind of low. So like there's green grass, blue sky, and it's them and maybe one other thing in the thumbnail. And those images always pop so well because there's not a lot of busyness going on in the background. And by default, that's what you have going on here in the environment that you're in. If you ever leave this environment to make more videos, I would remember the success of these thumbnails and how nice they looked, and try to continue editing your thumbnails in such a way that you have a nice, clean background. And really now the catch, the thing that you're actually actively going out and fishing for, is now the star of the thumbnail, and there's nothing else distracting going on. So that's really strong. And even in the last few weeks, like, you have some videos that did better than others. I think, like for this one, ice fishing early, ice pan fish, nonstop action. You decided to, you have a fish there, but you also decided to put this live scope thing. And is the video about using a scope to do the fishing? And if so, why wasn't that reflected in the title? Because it kind of feels like you just wanted to include this interesting tidbit that, oh, by the way, there's like a scope thing that I'm using. Okay, neat. But it's a little bit distracting now. Am I supposed to focus on what you caught, or am I supposed to focus on the tools that you use to do it? And it can be one or the other. It can be both once I get into the video. But when it comes to the title and the thumbnail, I think you could have made it more about the scope if that's what was involved. Or if that was just a small part of it, then make it, again, more about the catch like you have here.
Yeah, I agree. If it's a review of the product, then that would be the focus of the thumbnail. But if the video is not a review of that product, you just kind of used it in that video, then I agree with Dan completely that it should be about the catch, or something that's going to be more attractive to actually get somebody to click on the video. And for a channel like this, there is absolutely nothing wrong with reviewing products every once in a while. Even if that's not something you want to do, the fact that you can do this because you're already doing it. You already have the stuff. You're already out there doing these things, and you can speak on it from a level of experience that it can actually work really well for you when it comes to affiliate revenue. If you want to make sure that you're putting links to these products, like the Mr. Heater, any of the products that you're using, make sure make sure that you get signed up for that, because that can open you up to an additional revenue stream. Even though you're not in the partner program yet with 300 subs, you could already be earning money. Mm-hmm. You know, you could already be making money off of this channel without having to worry about AdSense, at least not yet.
Yeah. So it looks like they're doing everything we would recommend a fishing channel do. They're making the catch the star of the thumbnail. They're reviewing products. Some of them getting more views than others, especially these 5 best practices ones. These ones did exceptionally well. Before you buy, this one, like with the arrow pointing to something specific, like this was a really good thumbnail and title in terms of intrigue. So yeah, there's a lot you can parse through here now with like the sample of your content that we have in front of us. And it kind of makes sense why some of these perform better than others. So you have a lot of data here to do an even deeper dive on your own channel and figure out like where should I go with this? What should I do next?
Yeah. And one of the things I always recommend people do is using the vidIQ tool, the channel audit tool. With the channel audit tool, there's a section in there. If you want to jump to it real quick, channel audit tool, and what's going on here?
Well, I guess ours needs some more data. We might have accidentally.
Oh, are we in like viewer only or something?
Yeah. It might be
that might be what's going on.
thing.
No biggie. Sorry. No biggie. But if you're in the vidIQ channel audit tool, in the second row, there's going to be a section called suggested videos, like top suggested videos non-owned, which are going to be videos that are sending you traffic, but they're not your videos. So that's a really good place to find ideas for videos because you're already getting views. You're already getting the suggested traffic for these views. So if you see any videos that are sending you traffic on topics that you have not talked about, I mean, within your niche, right? Because it could always be some rando video sending you views for some reason. But if it's something in your niche and it's a topic you haven't talked about, then that's a place that you can find some additional ideas, or even, a good place to find other channels that are in your niche that you might have never heard of, but they're sending you traffic. You have a shared audience.
Right. So there you go. Tool you can try out. And yeah, thanks for sharing your channel. This is really, really strong. You're getting some. Yes. What?
Oh no, sorry. I said we have a bunch of super chats left and we're low on time.
Oh no, yeah, we're good. We hopefully we can do one or two more channels. Let's get through these super chats though. Sure. So synergy effect. My most popular traffic sources come from browse and search. My videos are meant to be searched since they're utility videos. Is it good for the future?
Yeah, that's fine. I basically have a 30-30-30 split on my channel for traffic sources. So it's search, browse, and suggested. No problems with that whatsoever. So you're basically getting pushed out on multiple levels. There's no problem with that at all.
We have one here. What you do every week is free, or is great free information. Maybe this week is my week here for reviewing my channel. Every bit of advice is appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're happy to help. Thank you for all the super chats that support all the free advice we're giving. Love your stuff. Thank you for helping creators grow. Thank you, 8-Bit Drummer. Best of luck to you. British Girl Explores. Thank you for the super. Stormy. Let's see. Hope my page can get reviewed. Thoughts on ChatGPT. Like it's amazing to see what AI is doing and what AI is capable of. As creatives, there's already, I don't know about you, Jeff, but there's a ton of things that I'm using it for that are just making my life easier.
Yep. Agreed.
Yep. And so our AI coach is also now in that mix for me when it comes especially to YouTube video ideas, things like that. So definitely do check that out. And Synergy Effect, my videos are going to be based off of Assassin's Creed games. Should I stay focused on one game at a time and then move into the next one when it's time?
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. If you're going to do a run of them, it would kind of make sense to do them in a certain type of order. Yeah. So you get what I'm saying? It's like, but also the thing with Assassin's Creed is kind of interesting because they have a storyline that weaves through the series. Yeah. So I don't know. It's up to you. If somebody actually follows you along for the whole thing, then yeah. But I don't think you necessarily have to because it's all Assassin's Creed. But I probably would. I would focus on one, knock out the videos, whatever it is. If it's tutorials, if it's chapter walkthroughs, or whatever it is, guides. I would knock that out and then move on to the next one personally, just to keep myself from going insane trying to keep track of, okay, I just did Brotherhood and I did level 1. Now I'm going to go do this Assassin's Creed 3 to try to keep track of all that. It's going to be a pain. So I would stick to one, knock that out, and move on to the next.
But give yourself permission to swap into a different topic if the need arises. And by that, I mean, if there is news about an upcoming Assassin's Creed game, if there's drama going on, like maybe a bunch of people's accounts got deleted or something from Ubisoft's network or something like that, like give yourself room to pivot real quick into one of those newsworthy videos. You're like, don't like, I'm only saying that as a warning because I know what it's like to get tunnel vision and be like, well, I told myself I was going to do this one thing. And then if an opportunity arises that makes sense for you, don't ignore it just because you said, well, I know the guys at vidIQ said I have to knock this out first before I can move on to my next thing. Like,
nope.
do what makes flexible. The most sense for you at that time.
Or more sense to your viewers.
Yes.
Because that's something that, you have to pay attention. What would they be interested in? If I have a Assassin's Creed based audience, news is going to be interesting to them, right? If Ubisoft, stuck their foot in it yet again, then that's something you're going to want to talk about. So just something to keep in mind, but definitely keeping that flexibility open is going to be key.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was getting 200, 300 real-time views per hour on a video for a period of 8 hours, and then suddenly it dropped to 3 views an hour. What may have happened? It sounds like a short, because that'll happen a lot with shorts, where it's getting recommended to like an audience, and then it kind of drops back down. And if it's a short, that's just welcome to YouTube Shorts. If that was a long-form video, I don't exactly know what could have happened there. I wouldn't dwell on it too much in either case, because what I would like you to do is focus on your next upload. When the data comes in, look at your retention, look at and try and see if there's a point where people drop off the video really dramatically. Be on the lookout for dislikes and things like that. Like maybe there's something about the video that's controversial and you didn't think so, but now you're looking back at your comments and realizing like, oh gosh, like people are mad at this, and YouTube's algorithm picks that up and they're like, oh, people don't like this, and they put it away. So any number of things without looking at what about the video and the data, it's really impossible to say, but I would still focus on the next upload. See what you can learn from it, and then just keep on creating. When you dwell on things, that's when you start to stall out, because you're just getting too consumed by like, what can I do to revive this video? Like I would like everybody to move on in that situation. Yeah,
agreed. Yeah, just keep on moving to the next one. Don't dwell too much on them. But yeah, if you want, we can try to sneak in one more if you want.
Yeah. Let's see. We have, I think we're due for a gaming channel.
Correct.
All right. So on the form here, 465 responses now. So we have 404 on the gaming channel forum. They do live streams. It's Captain Pineapple. Okay. We will.
So another pineapple, eh?
Yeah, a lot of pineapples today. You are doing, it looks like everything. Hopefully that content ecosystem is being maintained, because there just 9 days ago, you had a Minecraft video. You are doing shorts. It looks like they're getting some decent views here. And then when you're live, let's see. So this is what you said your channel was like mainly focused on. Taking over Hypixel with viewers. All right. So there we go. We have a title and a thumbnail with a clear message in mind. So you're playing games with your viewers, and you found a fun way to kind of approach that. I own this server, and you're taking over the server with your viewers. Help me build a maximum security prison live. Great idea. Help me build. So your audience senses that they're going to be involved in this content, which is really good to do with live streams, because audience participation is what it's all about. Like getting a stronger connection with your audience while you're live. Like that's one of the main reasons we do this. So that's really good to see. I think overall you are practicing the strategies that we are constantly telling to creators to focus on when it comes to their live streams. I think consistency. I mean, we got 2 hours ago, then 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. Maybe you are very consistently doing one stream per week, which is fine. But there was 2 months where you went on a really big run here with more than that. So live streams, I think, Jeff, you might agree, consistency is pretty important there. People are making time out of their day to watch you live. We do these streams pretty consistently at the same time every week. And so it's easier for our regular viewers to catch them because they know what to expect. If they want to be here live, even if it's a little bit difficult for them, they know that they have to block out a certain time every week in their schedule to be here live.
Yep, exactly. So, basically people start to build habits around your stream schedule. So it's important for you to choose a day and time that works for you and that you can be consistent with. So that's really going to be the key. So don't just do random streams at random times. It's okay to experiment, to try to see, hey, let me try one in the morning and see what kind of viewership I get. And let me try one in the afternoon and see what kind of viewership I get. Let me try one in the evening, see what kind of viewership I get. That's more of to figure out what is the best time. And if that time aligns with you, like, hey, perfect. You know what I mean? So I know for myself, the perfect time for me to stream would be at like 5 a.m. on Sunday mornings, because that's when the most viewers are on my channel. But I'm not going to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to do a live stream at 5 o'clock in the morning. It's just, my energy level is not there. I cannot physically do it. So I do it at a time. I've set a time that works for me, that works for my viewers. They know to show up. And if they can't make it, they join the replay squad. No biggie. So, but yeah, being consistent with that is super, super helpful, especially for live. And I like the fact that they're actually, putting some effort in on the thumbnails and stuff like that. Although I do feel like I'm seeing some repeat ones, like the one they're stacked right on top of each other right there. Looks like the same thumbnail. So try not to do that when possible. So
yeah, and these definitely don't need episode numbers as well. I would just, when you play on these Hypixel servers, and there's or servers like Hypixel, there's always different games, right? So maybe each stream should be about a specific game on Hypixel you guys are going to play that day. And now you can change the title and the thumbnail to reflect those games, or one of those games. And don't put episode numbers. Like, it's a really good way to not invite people to watch that live stream. Like, because we're talking about live streams, sorry, this live stream is 91 views and this one is 75. That should not be the case for live streams. Your live stream should be getting more views as you keep doing them, not less. But you put episode 2, and I have to imagine, because of the same thumbnail as well, it looks like people have already seen this, or episode 2 makes it feel like, oh, I need to go back and watch the first live stream. Don't make people feel that way. Just come up with a new concept for the title and the thumbnail.
Yeah. If you look at my live streams, for the most part, it looks like just different videos. And that's because I go into it with a topic idea for the most part. Unless I'm doing something specific, like around the holidays, I was taking it easy. So I was just doing like a Christmas stream or just a live chat Q&A, just doing it very specific for that. But everything else is very specific to a topic. So thumbnail, title, and going into it has a lot of replay value for people. So, but just something to keep in mind. But I think consistency is definitely going to be the key here for doing well and trying to grow with live streaming.
Yeah. So yeah, and then from your live streams, be sure you're capturing clips, be using your replay buffer in OBS, get clips and edit those into shorts. Make sure that when you're making these shorts, you cater them to a shorts audience. I don't want to have to feel like I had to watch the stream to understand what the short's about. So make sure you give enough context in those shorts so that shorts viewers who don't know who you are would be maybe willing to subscribe. And when you happen to be live, they might want to watch. And then you can continue to make these long form videos based off some of the stuff you're working on in live streams. Minecraft builds can take a really long time. So maybe you can make a video after you finish a big Minecraft project, wrapping up the progress of a big build, because you spent like 10 hours live streaming it. And then the video is like an 8-minute, video of you going through the steps to actually make it all come together with speed builds and things like that in there. So again, content ecosystem. I love that you're using all 3 channels on one channel, 3 channels being video, shorts, and live streams. And I'm seeing some really positive stuff, especially for a Minecraft channel. Very competitive space to get into. So keep finding new cool things to do to stand out amongst the crowd, and best of luck. A couple more super chats here. We got, what is a good upload schedule? A good upload schedule is one that works for you.
Yeah. Yeah, we're not going to sit here and tell you have to upload every single week on Saturday. We're not going to tell you that. Yep. It has to work for your lifestyle, because it's different for everybody, right? Some people have nothing else going on and they can upload 3 times a day. Or there's some people who have families and jobs and stuff, and they can do maybe 1 video per week. It has to fit into your lifestyle. So if you can do 1 video per week because that fits into your lifestyle, cool. If you can do 3 per week, cool. If you can't, if you can do 2 videos a month, cool. It has to fit into your lifestyle.
Yeah. We told someone earlier who's making what seemed to be daily videos that maybe they should scale back a little bit so that they can learn some new skills and level up the videos they're making. So again, it's a very personal thing. We've seen channels that make 1 video a month that do very well for themselves. But more videos is more shots at that target. It's more chances to get discovered. So you have to balance that. But ultimately, if you're not learning, you're not growing. If you're not applying the lessons you learn, you're not growing. So you got to do what works for you.
Yeah. And stop focusing on subs.
Yes. Everyone stop focusing on subs. They are not the metric you need to be looking at. And then Flory, thank you so much for the super sticker. Appreciate you. That's it. Happy 2023, everybody. That was our first live stream of the year. We'll be back tomorrow with video reviews. We're going to go into the content now. We've looked at your titles. We've looked at your thumbnails. What happens when we click into the videos? We're going to be talking about best practices and we're going to be using your videos to do it. And then, okay, I'll stay at bi-weekly vids. Best of luck to you. Thank you for all the supers. Appreciate you. Yeah, thanks everybody. Thank you for being here. We will see you tomorrow. Be safe, and looking for the outro. Blah, 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 blah. Jeff, help me riff a little bit. Well, I found it. Wait, no, that's not it.
No, that's
Why
not
is the outro so hard to find? Why can't we change this for the new year?
You got to restructure the whole system, sir.
Well, the whole thing's just a mess.